All right, welcome back. This is day 2 on Hobo Hollow, and I just can't wait to get started. Turns out I decided not to go to bed. Yep, that's right. I just could not bear the fact of, sleeping on the farm, basically. The farm really needs a lot of help right now, and the last thing that I feel like I can do is just fall asleep. Um, Regardless of Uncle Earl and his intolerance for me, and basically his intolerance for living uh, a productive life in general, I've got to do everything I can for Aunt Gertrude, or was it Aunt Margine? I don't remember. Anyways, I just can't seem to keep my facts straight here. I do apologize. Um, this is Hobo Hollow, episode 2. I hope you enjoy. All right, here we are. I'm going to flip on my flashlight here. The fire has seemed to have gone out, which is a bit unfortunate. Hopefully, there are some hot coals and embers still in there somewhere. That surely will make things a little bit easier when I need to come back and make that fire. Anyways, we will be working through the night. Contrary to last episode, I've changed my mind. I've decided I am a bit of a working man, and that is why I'm here. I just can't let down Aunt Gertrude. She is just the nicest lady, and I really think that the ticket for the rest of the day is simply to chop down as many trees as possible, make as much money as possible with those trees, and figure out what the best purchases are in order to keep growing the farm and not go into debt. I'm just trying to find the tractor at this point. Also, I do want to mention that I do apologize for the last episode's difficulties. I know you could not see the whole screen. It's because I'm using an ultra wide monitor, and I hadn't figured out how to get the whole screen into view for you. I do believe I have figured that out, although it took a couple YouTube videos, as well as just some playing around. I'm actually not going to know for sure, I think, until I upload the videos to YouTube, which it would be a shame if they didn't work by that time, because by that time I would have invested quite a few hours in all of this. So, anyways, that was a long story just to say I apologize, and hopefully I've got it working out right now. So here we are, doing our thing, chopping down our first tree. I was going to say our first tree of the day, but technically this is not our first tree of the day. This is at least number 3 or 4. There are some players and YouTubers that I've watched. They are super good at running up and down these trees and chopping off those branches real quick. I'm not one of those, but you know what? Practice makes perfect, right? So as you can see here, we've got about $3,300. And again, that is going down occasionally. I think it's because I'm technically paying for Earl's, little mansion, his little casa. The game thinks that I own it instead of Earl. So I do believe that I am paying a maintenance bill on that. Which makes me a little bit nervous because I'm not ready to be having, things debited out of my meager account right now. I know that we don't have too much money, and my only hope is that chopping down these trees, taking them to the sawmill, it's going to put us in the black for good, and we can just stay that way. Have a nice, comfortable life here on the farm. So I do hope that is the case. You know what? And hopefully, my greatest hope is that I will become a proficient lumberjack. Primarily with stacking these unwieldy logs, because it is a little bit of a chore. Of course, the trailer doesn't help too much. It's just not a lot of room on that trailer. Sometimes 4 logs can fit. Sometimes 4 logs do not fit. And the game's physics engine is just not the best. There's no way to get around that. Let's not beat around the bush. But you know what? Every tree is a new experience. That's how you got to look at it. Like I said before in the last episode, there's probably about room for 2, maybe 3 trees worth of logs on this little trailer. This is one of the smallest trailers in the game, if not the smallest trailer. Certainly I do hope to upgrade soonish, although I don't think it's going to be our first order of business. What I'd really like to do in terms of our next purchases, I'm thinking it would be really good to focus on things that will give us some passive income, whether that be with animals or greenhouses, or possibly one of those generators that you can put on your property and it will just generate money in a passive form. I think that something like that would be of most benefit, because at the end of the day, we have to have money in order to make more money, right? So I am looking for ways that I can generate money without having to chop down trees and do a whole bunch of manual labor. And I think that, I'm not an animal expert on this game, to tell you the truth. But I have done sheep before, and that is the extent of my animal knowledge of the game. I know that sheep are one of the more, low maintenance kind of animals. I think they only require basically just cut grass to eat, and of course some water. As far as animals go on this game, I believe that's fairly low maintenance. So I'm comfortable starting off with sheep, and that first sheep pen is, I think it holds 15 sheep, right? So it is not terribly expensive. So I think I'm leaning towards that and possibly a greenhouse. Honestly, probably both. I don't know which one we'll go for first. I think greenhouses are cheaper. There are different, styles and sizes of greenhouses. It's one thing that I love about this game is, say what you want about the base game. The base game is fine, but the modding community has just gone crazy with this game, and I love it. Well, I love it, but I also have a love-hate relationship here on this topic, because they're constantly coming out with new updates on the maps. For example, this is Hobo Hollow, and it's a map made by a modder, And, you know, whenever they come out with a new update for a map, which is fantastic, we love updates, you know, typically it requires a new save, which means the entire game and all the efforts you've put into making the game what it is would be ruined if you wanted to take advantage of the new updates, because you have to start a new game. So that's always a bit of a bummer, and just kind of makes you have to decide what's important, taking advantage of those updates or just continuing and playing. Anyways, I'm not sure how much more I'm going to be able to stack onto this trailer, but it's always a new experience every time stacking this trailer. You never know. At some point, you do have to involve the straps just to get everything to hold on. Otherwise, half of the contents of that trailer is going to fall off, because you're inevitably going to set a log in the wrong place like that and cause half the trailer to fall off, which happened a few times in the last episode. So it's a bit of a struggle, you know, if there's a need to, and, you know, we make it further into the game, there's, you know, mechanized machinery. Man, I cannot get this log to stay on there. And really, that's kind of the limiting factor of a trailer like this, is it could be stacked higher, theoretically, but it's just not working out sometimes because the logs just won't stay on, right? What I was saying is, you know, as you accumulate more money and just more resources in general, there are some pretty fancy tools that will basically chop down trees and delimb them quite rapidly, and is so much more convenient than doing this. But you know what? I live for the struggle, I think, of a survival situation. Not that I ever want to be in a situation where I'm trying to survive, but I like the build-up, and that is a horrible looking... that is a horrible looking trailer right now, but it's what I've got to work with. So we're just going to continue with that. Now, I don't know if this log is just going to stay on there or what. Alright. I don't think that log's going to stay on there, which is fine. We don't need that log right now. I thought this log was going to be okay. Obviously, it's not, and I've knocked off a bunch of other logs in the process. Oh, jeez. Alright. I think I'm just going to have to go like this. And unfortunately, I think my straps... There we go. So if I can just strap this down a little bit. My straps have seemed to have decided to go under instead of over the wood. I'm just going to try one more time, just for the heck of it. See if I can't get this just sitting there. Well, it's something. It is not pretty, but it is something. Get to use the headlights on the old tractor this time. And we're just going to slowly but surely make our way back to the sawmill. And I will see you on the other side. All right. Well, you may have noticed, but that was quite a struggle for the little Kramer. Just chugging up that little tiny hill that is in that cornfield. Man, the Kramer is quite struggling, and it takes forever. I did speed up that video for you, but it still may not even looked as if it was sped up. So let's go ahead and see how much we make here. 4,600 bucks. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. For just what, 2 trees, something like that. I'm just gonna pop on over to the store that's at the top of the map, and we're going to see what, if anything, we can buy that would be of value right now. And I've just been thinking a little bit more about either the animals or the greenhouse. And in order to have either of those work, I do need to get a water tank. Yeah, so we need something along these lines. This is water. It's only $3,000, which is not bad at all. It does weigh 514 kilograms, which is, I'm not really even sure if that's too much for the tractor. It's obviously going to be a problem if it is. This one weighs a bit more and is a bit more expensive, which makes sense. Just honestly, I'm just trying to look for the cheapest option that I can find. And it must be, yeah, it's gotta be this one. Everything else is too expensive and probably too heavy. And this one is probably too heavy as well. No sense in buying it just yet until I know that I can afford a greenhouse, right? All right, so we do have a $3,000 one and a medium one, which is $5,000. I'm just looking over here at what the inputs are. So, for example, the input for this one is just water, which is very practical for us. easy to manage. This is interesting as well, an open air garden. However, I think I would love to get this $5,000 medium greenhouse. Now it's just a matter of figuring out where I want this to be placed. I don't want it to be too far away from the water. And we learned in the last episode that... Is this the water? No, that's the other field. It's very hard to figure out at night. Yeah, we learned in the last episode that it's easiest to pull the tractor up around here from the water. So I'm imagining that we're going to be clearing out a lot of this terrain. And so if I could just put it right here. Well, I want it back just a little bit because when I start harvesting this field, yeah, let's just go, oh, I don't know, right here. I think that's about as good of a place as I'm gonna find. All right, we have our greenhouse, and we're only left with $2,400 at this point in time. That water tanker was $3,000, so I'm afraid that is going to have to wait until I can get more money, and more money means more trees. All right, and I will see you back over by the farm. We're going to cut a few more trees and work towards buying that water tanker. And we are back, and look at that beautiful greenhouse. I am absolutely pleased to be able to have a greenhouse this early in the game, and this is going to make us quite a bit of passive income just to start off with. And Uncle Earl is going to be a bit jealous, I think. We better not tell him. Although he'll never know. He never comes out here, right? So the next order of business is I'm just going to load up these logs. We've already got some cut, so no need to cut another tree down yet. And undo these straps. I don't know why they are already like that on the trailer. And with these logs, I'm fairly confident we will get the additional funds we need in order to purchase our first small water tank, which is the only requirement to be able to get this greenhouse to start producing. Now, there are other greenhouses in the game that require not only water, but manure, and I actually don't know if there are any other requirements besides water and manure, but there are some that do require that. So I purposely went with one that just is going to require water, because at this point we don't have the capability of satisfying that need for anything other than water, right? So let's go ahead and get this strapped down. And we're going to head back over to that sawmill one more time. It's going to be a little bit of a painful journey, going about 1 to 2 miles per hour, just up this. And I don't even think it's much of a hill, but man, it does take forever. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the game for you guys. All right, well, we're here back at the sawmill. That trip didn't take as long, probably because we are not pulling nearly as much wood as we have been. I'm going to go ahead and sell this, and definitely does put us up over the $3,000 mark, which is fantastic. Now I've got to make my way back up to the top of the map in order to buy the water tank. I need to have the tractor up there. So I'm going to go ahead and just, you know what? I was gonna unload the trailer here, but now that I think about it, I think I'm just gonna drive the trailer back to the farm, unload it at the farm, and then continue on from there to get the water tanker. So we're gonna go ahead and fast forward this for you guys. Well, we are finally here. It's only 2 in the morning. That trip does take forever, so be happy that I fast forwarded it for you guys. It is painfully slow. I cannot wait to get a new tractor at some point in the game, and I'm not sure when, but at least cut that time in half, hopefully, if not more. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and buy the water tank. And I am quite surprised that they are open at such a late hour. But I'm not going to complain one bit. This is our water tank. Holds a little over 2,000 liters. Yeah, I think that we should black out those rims, because why not? What kind of color is that? Chrome. Black rims. It is a shame that you cannot configure the color of the tank. I really don't want white, but we're just gonna, yeah, why don't we go ahead and make a license plate? Why not? There is no other option really besides Wheezy Cat. There we go. And I don't know, what color do we want it? Red, black. Just do a basic black. Why not? And I think that'll be it. See if we can see that license plate. I have no idea where it is. Supposedly it's on here somewhere. Who knows where. Total price is $3,000. We'll go ahead and buy that. And I highly doubt we have sufficient money to buy anything of importance right now. So now we've just got to figure out where they put that. I think they may have put it over here. And we've really got to keep our fingers crossed and send up a prayer that this tractor will be able to pull the water tank. It's actually a bigger water tank than I thought it would be, which is a little concerning. I totally foobarred that back up. All right. So we are back at the familiar farm. You can see the greenhouse right there. I think the next order of business is to find the most logical way down to the lake. And I suppose it doesn't matter whether we take the steep way down or not. The most important part is trying to find the best way back out, because we're going to have the heaviest load coming back out. So I'm just going to go ahead and head down towards the lake. We're going to fill up the water tank, and hopefully, if our prayers are being answered, we are going to be able to pull this water tank back out and fill up that greenhouse, which would, definitely mean a lot as far as getting the farm up and running. So here I am filling up. You can see in the lower right hand corner it is filling up, and we're already at 100%. Doesn't take too long to fill up the water tank. Our wheels seem to be on the ground still, which is always a good sign. And now we're going to see how we do pulling this thing back out. And it's entirely possible we don't do well at all. And I might have to offload some of it. The question is, will it work? Well, that's why we're here to find out. So far so good, actually. We've hit a top speed of 7 miles per hour up this hill. And we're definitely filling it now, though. Down to 3, 2... about 2 miles per hour. It might be where we stay, but you know what? I will not complain about 2 miles per hour. We don't have very far to go. Our tractor certainly sounds like it's going to blow up, and it just might. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can do it. Yeah, we're really, really struggling. The other question that I have is how many water tanks is it going to take to fill up the greenhouse? If you remember, we bought the medium-sized greenhouse, which could take a few water tanks. I don't actually know for sure. It is notable to realize that it can pull the water up, even if it is at a measly 1 miles per hour. And I haven't gone all the way around the lake to verify that this is, in fact, the least steep section. It's kind of hard to believe that it would be, just because it is kind of steep. It's one thing that I do want to put on my list of things to do is walk around the entire lake, figure out if there is not a better route. Although this is more or less the most direct route, doesn't mean that it is the best route. I think we're on our final ascent here. And our prayers have been answered. The tractor is able to pull a full water tank up and out of that steep embankment. So we're going to head on over to our greenhouse. And I am thrilled that we have a greenhouse so early in the game. I think it was a good move. And we pull right up alongside here. We should be able to offload into the greenhouse. At least I hope it's going into the greenhouse instead of onto the ground. Our tank is already empty. All right, yeah, as you can see, we've only filled up the tank, the greenhouse, a little over 2,000 liters, and it holds 10,000. So we definitely have quite a bit more to go. We've only filled it up about, 20%. Here we can choose whether we want to go with strawberries, lettuce, or tomatoes. I think we will stick with tomatoes. Although I don't know for sure. For example, the lettuce will take 2 water. Strawberries will take a single water and it will produce 2. Tomatoes will take a single water and produce 1. Anyways, I'm not going to really run the math, but I am going to activate the tomato recipe, and it was pretty fast in the magic of movie making and gaming. We've already got tomato plants. All right, close the doors there. And the next item up to do is go back down. We need to make five trips just to fill this thing up, which is going to take a while. I think I'm probably going to do that off camera. And I think what I'm going to do now, I don't know if I can go to sleep this late into the morning. It is 5 in the morning, so we've been at it for several hours, game time wise. I think I am just going to call it a night, and we're going to call it the end of episode 2. I really appreciate you guys sticking around watching this, especially if you watched episode 1. If you didn't, go back and watch episode 1 for me if you would. And please show your support. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. It means the world to me. Just starting off, obviously. So I will catch you next time.